The Philadelphia Phillies got the series finale come from behind victory. So they won that ball game 6-4 over the New York Mets Thursday night to wrap up that 4-game series. They begin a 3-game home series versus the Kansas City Royals starting tonight here on Friday. Walker Buehler is scheduled to make the start for the Phillies here against the Royals to open up this 3-game series. Buehler obviously was released by the Boston Red Sox a little while ago. Phillies signed him for the rest of the year. He is going to join the starting rotation tonight. He's had a lot of success with the Dodgers in his past in his major league career. Not so much with the Red Sox here in 2025 before his release. He was 7-7 with a 5.45 ERA in 23 games, 22 starts, one out of the bullpen for the Red Sox before they ultimately released the veteran. He did make one AAA start in the Phillies organization with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs a few days ago. Not great appearance for him there. Kind of still pitched like he was with the Red Sox earlier this season at the major league level. He pitched 3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 3 walks, 2 runs, 1 earned run, and 5 strikeouts in that game for the Iron Pigs. Hopefully, he can turn that around and get back to his former all-star self that he was with the Dodgers in the past. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, we're talking about a good start out of Walker Buehler and another Phillies win in the next video. Welcome to Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Not only did the Phillies get that 6-4 series finale win, but hold on. Break out the brooms. The Phillies swept the New York Mets right out of Philadelphia. They needed that. It was great stuff. Obviously, as a Phillies fan, you hate the Mets. You don't want to see the Mets ever beat your team. Great to see the Phillies bounce back. If you remember, just a few weeks ago, they were swept in 3 games up at Citi Field in the Mets' home ballpark. Things were looking low for the Phillies at that moment. You hate to see it, but they stepped up to the challenge and they took full advantage and took care of business against their division rivals here in South Philadelphia in that 4-game sweep over the Mets. They outscored the Mets in these 4 games 27-10. They really dominated them in all aspects of the game. It was a 1-0 close nail-biting game in that victory Monday to kick off this 4-game series that just happened. Aaron Nola pitched a heck of a game. It was great to see out of him. And then really, with the exception of yesterday in that first inning, the Phillies dominated pitching-wise, offensively. Fielding was pretty good overall. We've seen them have mistakes here and there as of late, but overall, great team performances in these 4 games over the New York Mets, and it was honestly the biggest series here of the season, trying to bury them, trying to obviously gain that huge lead and wrap up this division title for the second time in 2 years. They're on the right path to get that. Got to win a few more games. They now have an 11-game lead over the New York Mets in the National League East with just 15 games left to play in the regular season. So they are in great position. They've got to really lose these last 15 games, and the Mets have to win pretty much all of their games remaining. Unlikely to happen. I'm not going to say it, but the Phillies are on their way to winning another National League East division title here in 2025 for the second straight year. And now their magic number to win the division is down to 5, and I believe it's just 4 to clinch a playoff spot overall. So the Phillies are looking good. They're playing good baseball. 15 games left to go. 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals, who are just about a 500 team. So they should be able to handle business, you would think, at home at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies play really good at home. So hopefully they can at least win another series, whether that's 2-1 or another sweep here. And then they take on the Los Angeles Dodgers out in LA for probably the last tough regular season series of the season here. But nonetheless, great series by the Phillies. It's always good to beat the Mets, especially a 4-game sweep in front of your home fans at Citizens Bank Park. It was awesome. I loved it. I'm sure you guys did as well. Speaking of that ball game yesterday, that 6-4 comeback victory, the Phillies didn't look great to start that ball game. First inning, you kind of just sat there and like, oh, here we go. It's going to be a tough one. It's just not their night. But they did come back, like I said. They were down 4-0 in that top of the first inning going into their half of the first inning. Jesus Luzardo was on the mound for the Phillies. Just a rough first inning for him. He settled in. We'll get to that in just a moment. But after being down 4-0 in that first inning, the Phillies just kept chipping away. It was 4-0 going into the bottom of the fourth inning. The Phillies were coming up to bat. Otto Kemp, who was just called up just a few days ago with Alec Boehm and Trey Turner landing on the IL, he came up and hit a 2-run home run in that fourth inning, cut the Mets lead to 4-2, 2-run deficit. Again, kept chipping away at the Mets lead. In the fifth inning, they scored another run to make it a 4-3 ball game, down by 1 run. And then in the following inning, in the sixth inning, the Phillies took full advantage, scored 3 runs in that sixth inning, took the lead 6-4, and obviously never looked back. They won that ball game 6-4 on the back of the offense chipping away. And Jesus Luzardo, I just mentioned, didn't get off to a great start in that first inning. We all thought, here we go again. It's going to be another inconsistent, poor performance by Jesus Luzardo. Obviously started the 2025 season tremendously, fell into some trouble there mid-season, and now he's been pitching really good as of late, but then it looked like we were getting that mid-season form of Luzardo in that first inning. He threw 23 pitches in that first inning, allowed 5 hits and 4 runs, but credit to him, Jesus Luzardo settled in and he dominated. In fact, he was perfect the rest of his outing there. He threw a perfect 7 innings after that rough first inning. He went 8 innings total, allowed 5 hits, which is all came in that first inning, 0 walks, 4 earned runs again, all came in that first inning, and he struck out 10 batters and picked up the win for the Phillies. After pitching 23 pitches, allowing 5 hits and 4 runs in the first inning, it was almost no shot Jesus Luzardo was going to make it deep into that ball game, but he went 8 innings, and he only threw 97 pitches after doing 23 in that first inning. Again, he could have been pulled early, but credit to him. He settled in. He dominated. He was perfect through those next 7 innings, and he put the Phillies on his back with that help of the offense chipping away at the Mets lead and taking that lead in the 6th inning and never looking back. Now, you don't want to put your team in an early hole like that. Obviously, the offense isn't always going to come through for you and pick you up in those situations. Luckily, the Phillies did yesterday for Jesus Luzardo, but come playoff time, you really can't do that. You're going up. Not that the Mets aren't a good team. Obviously, they are trying to be a playoff team here as well. Likely will be. But you can't be doing that against these top teams in baseball come playoff time, putting your team in an early hole, going up against some of the best pitchers on the other side, some good defense, some good offenses. So he's got to tighten up there. But again, credit to him for settling in and just really dominating the Mets offense. 10 strikeouts in those 8 innings. Perfect 7 innings. He battled, and he got the job done for the Phillies. So hopefully that trend of good starting pitching continues. We obviously saw in that series, Aaron Nola had a great start for the Phillies on Monday in that shutout win. Ranger Suarez struck out a career-high 12 batters in his start on Tuesday. Christopher Sanchez looked really good as well Wednesday. And then Jesus Luzardo, after a rough first inning, threw a perfect outing after that in those 7 innings, went 8 innings, and picked up the win for the Phillies in the series finale, 6-4 victory over the Mets to complete that 4-game sweep yesterday on Thursday night. Now, he went 8 innings, 6-4 ball game. What does that mean? Jhoan Duran comes in to try to pick up the save for the team, and he did just that for the Phillies. He's had some dicey moments here recently when he's came into the ballgame for save situations. That was not the case last night against the Mets. He absolutely was electric and dominated the Mets, and that really some of their best players were up to bat there in the 9th inning in a close 6-4 2-run deficit ball game. And Duran, he just absolutely got the job done. He had 3 swinging strikeouts to end that ball game. 13 saves now for Duran in 14 opportunities since being traded to the Phillies at the deadline by the Minnesota Twins. Overall, he has 29 saves in 2025 between the Twins and the Phillies, 13 with the Phillies here. He has a 1.23 ERA with 20 strikeouts in 14 2/3 innings since joining the Phillies. So the strikeouts are there, the dominance is there, the flame throwing is there, the power arm is there, the ERA is extremely low. He obviously had that one blown save. He had that one also non-save kind of blown game as well against the Mets up at Citi Field. But overall, he's been dominant. He's been exactly what the Phillies needed in that closer role, in that late inning high leverage role. Overall on the season, he has a 1.83 ERA between the Twins and the Phillies in 66 appearances. So he's having an incredible season, one of the best relievers, one of the best closers in all of Major League Baseball. And he showed why with those 3 strikeouts to end the ballgame and to complete that sweep of the New York Mets in South Philadelphia. Great stuff overall by the Phillies. I loved it. I'm sure you guys did too as well. Hopefully, Walker Buehler gets the job done here, continues the good starting pitching for the Phillies in the series opener tonight at Citizens Bank Park against the Kansas City Royals. Ironically or coincidentally, the Eagles are also facing Kansas City, but they are in Kansas City against the Chiefs on Sunday in a Super Bowl rematch. So we got a lot of Kansas City going on here in the city of Philadelphia this weekend. But Phillies, Royals, 3-game series starting tonight. Walker Buehler making his debut with the Phillies. Exciting. Hopefully he can return to what he was with the Dodgers in the past, not what we saw out of him with the Red Sox and his one start in AAA with the Iron Pigs just a few days ago. It'll be great if he can get back to that dominance he used to be. Again, we'll see. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Hopefully we're talking about another Phillies win tomorrow. Again, thank you guys for watching. And as always, go Phils.